Well, hey, PK. Hey, Scrapegoat. Starting to wonder when people were going to start showing up. Hey, Comic Book. Liminal hour? Is it a liminal hour? I don't know. I didn't know this. I didn't know this counted as a liminal hour. Though, in fairness, I'm not even completely sure what liminal means. Ape goat. Yeah, I have only sort of like the vaguest idea of what liminal is. It's a word I say to sound smart. What is the actual definition? Occupying a position at or on both sides of a boundary or threshold. Relating to a transitional or initial stage of a process. So it's like an in-between space. Hey, that Project Management 101 stream. Somewhere hazing in between, like a stream at 2:30 in the morning. It's more about sort of being in between something or a transitional thing. What are we talking about? Liminal stuff. Hey, Lil Craig. The full moon? No. I think technically a full moon would actually be like the opposite of being liminal. A half moon might be liminal. Maybe. I don't know. What the hell do I know? Hey, Anunnaki. Deadpool trailer. Oh, I haven't actually watched it yet. I did hear that it uses the Madonna song. You hate all things in space. Fixed something in my house and did a piss poor job, but I'd still like to be praised for it. Good job, Scrapegoat. Good job fixing it yourself rather than getting someone else to do it. If you didn't do a good job, no big deal. It's how you learn. That is how you learn, Scrapegoat. Is this what it feels like to be a man? Yeah, I don't hate space things, Val. Hey, Sarah. I like space. Space is cool. I love, like, I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm a Trekkie, goddammit. So of course I like space. I just don't really care about eclipses. As for how I am, surviving for now. Favorite space movie? Um, I look good with ridges on my forehead. What would be my favorite space movie? I suppose Star Trek First Contact's got to be up there. Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy. Nothing against the sequels, but the original Star Wars trilogy, awesome. Spaceballs was great. I I did hear about the job Goat did on home repair. Hey, Vanna. Favorite space movie? Well, Your Mom's Porn is out of this world. What about when Jason X goes to space? Your favorite is Galaxy Quest? Worst space movies? I don't know. Star Trek's Insurrection and Nemesis are both pretty bad for the most part, in all honesty. Like, like both Insurrection and Nemesis. There honestly wasn't that much to recommend them. Aliens 3. It's weird because, like, all of the like original Star Trek movies, like the original 6 Star Trek movies, they all had something about them that still made them. They still had redeeming scenes. For as much hate as Star Trek 5 gets, Kirk talking about how he needs his pain, that was a good scene. And like the way it really emphasized the relationship between Kirk, Spock, and McCoy, that was like really good in that movie. Like there was still, I mean, I found Cybok a really compelling characters. Do love me a Rastafari and Travolta. Battlefield Earth, yeah. So for all its flaws, Star Trek Five was not actually terrible. It had redeeming features. It had redeeming qualities to it. Insurrection and Nemesis? I'm struggling to think of anything about those movies that redeems them in any way. They were just not good movies on any level. I also hated the two J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. Fucking hated those two movies. Does Canada have jury duty? Yes. Jury duty is a thing in Canada. Yeah, the two J.J. Abrams directed Star Trek movies, fucking terrible. I've never been called. No. Like, they were not Star Trek. You know, they were reasonably exciting sci-fi movies. Not even going to say good sci-fi movies because there are some stupid plot holes in them. But like they weren't even good sci-fi movies. Visually, visually interesting, sure, exciting. They weren't good. Mars Attacks. Mars Attacks is a good one. But as Star Trek, they were shit. Just utter fucking garbage. Because J.J. Abrams doesn't know Star Trek. J.J. Abrams never liked Star Trek. And you could tell in those movies that he doesn't particularly like Star Trek. Because gone is the philosophy. Gone is using space as a way of exploring the human condition. It's all pew pew zoom. That's the only fucking thing Abrams cared about with those movies is the pew pew. Which is not what Star Trek was ever about. Even when it was about pew pews, it wasn't about the pew pew. I guess I have a poster of Ben Affleck in Armageddon. Hey, Sleepy Bird. Tried kissing it, but I felt a little silly. Yeah. What are my thoughts on zombie movies? They've never been my thing. I enjoyed Shaun of the Dead. That was like Shaun of the Dead is just like a really fun movie. Other than that, I've never really watched any zombie shit. Am I still working? I mean, I'm off work at this moment. My shift is over. I still have a job, if that's what you're asking, but my shift is done for tonight. Can I stream work? No. No, I cannot. Also, hi, Jucifer. Anyway, while I'm on the topic of Star Trek, I did finish rewatching Deep Space Nine last night. And it's interesting. The finale, the two-part finale. Zombieland? That's right. I did watch a Zombieland movie. I did watch the movie Zombieland. Not the TV series, but the movie. I forgot that I did watch that one. And again, it was fun. With American Michael Cera. I have nothing against Jesse Eisenberg, but Michael Cera being Canadian, and the two of them, like, Michael Cera and Jesse Eisenberg get confused for each other so much. Like, it's a genuine thing where each of them gets confused for the other. And since Sarah is Canadian, obviously, he's the one that I prefer. Hey, Uncle Buck. So referring to Jesse Eisenberg as the American Michael Cera is amusing. Movie where that leprechaun goes to the hood. You mean Leprechaun in the Hood? I have not. Yeah, I was talking about Star Trek. The two-part finale of Deep Space Nine. It's interesting. The first part of the finale, like the first half of the finale, is phenomenal. Just this really great, exciting climax to what multiple seasons have been building up to. Very tense, and Ghostbusters is a comedy. And just really well done, really well paced and everything. And then the second half of the finale has the weirdest fucking pacing. It somehow manages to be both rushed and drawn out. Like, it's so weird. Just the pacing just does not work. The Dominion War is wrapped up in minutes. The two sides are facing off against each other, preparing for the final battle. Then Odo beams down, spends 2 minutes talking to the female changeling, and boom, war's over. Back to the station for to sign the treaty. Hurrah, it's all over and done with. Like, holy shit, that was fucking fast. And I mean, like, the first part is obviously meant to be the actual climax of the Dominion War with the big battle sequences and all that. But it's just it seems like the second part starts with what seems to be setting up one final battle. And I almost feel like they shouldn't have done that part. Like maybe maybe the first part should have ended with Odo going to meet the female changeling. To get her to end the war. There's a good few minutes that's dedicated to a weird clip show for several of the characters. Like the clips they take for Worf and Quark are almost all from the 7th season for some reason. just like a really weird ass. Like that was just like really weird. Uh, the final confrontation between Cisco and uh, Ducat is kind of underwhelming. You know, that part feels like it could have used another 3 or 4 minutes of dialoguing back and forth, exploring like the relation, like exploring the relationship that they'd had over the course of the series. And obviously, there'd already been an entire episode. Uh, I think earlier in that season, an entire that was dedicated to exploring the relationship. Might have even been in the previous season, but there had been an entire episode previously dedicated to exploring the relationship. But considering that was sort of a big part of the arc of the whole series, it feels like it could have benefited from having a little bit more room in the finale. So, I don't know. The second half of the finale just a lot of it never fully clicked for me. The pacing just felt really off. Still, on the whole, Deep Space Nine was a phenomenal series. Definitely the best of that era of Star Trek. And now that I finished watching it, I can move on to Voyager. Should be interesting. I've never watched the first few episodes of Voyager. Yeah, I didn't. For some reason, I didn't really want to watch it back then. So it wasn't until a chunk of the way into the first season that I started watching it, and I just didn't catch the episodes that before that. So I've never actually watched like the pilot. I've never actually watched the first the premiere of Star Trek Voyager. On the whole, is that where thongs go? I was unaware. I've never worn thongs myself, so I did not know where they went. But thank you for informing me. Thank you for the education. Hey, Barbara. Anyway, it's clear people don't want to hear me talk about Star Trek, so I'll stop talking about Star Trek now. Begrudgingly. Jeez. What kind of losers don't watch Star Trek? Come on. Back on Tinder? I am not back on Tinder. I have no intention of getting back on Tinder. At least not for now. Reminds me of my impoverished aunt and uncle who didn't have cable. Oh. Did watch Deep Space 9 years ago, don't remember a thing. It's a great show. It's worth a rewatch. It is interesting how like one of the absolute best episodes of the series, one of the absolute best episodes of Star Trek, did actually occur in the first season. You know, like the first season of Star Trek Next Generation had didn't really have any episodes that were genuinely great. You know, had a couple episodes that were pretty okay, and a fair number of episodes that were just bad. But nothing, no episodes that like went down as like being positively remembered. No classic episodes in the first season. But Star Trek Deep Space Nine, it had Duet in the first season. And that episode was absolute genius. Right, I was going to stop talking about Star Trek. Sorry. It's tough because I do like it. Anyone else have a different topic that they wanted to talk about? Or that they wanted me to talk about? Anyone have a different topic that they want me to talk about? Anyone? trivia. We did it we did one a few weeks ago. Some new Ghostbusters. Because nostalgia has traditionally been reliable money. And that's basically what it comes down to is it's nostalgia. I haven't really heard anything about the new one. I have no idea if it's good or bad. I think I might have heard that it's not bad, but am I gonna watch Furiosa? I will not. Not my type of movie. Pluto or Planet Fitness? Neither. Um, one criticism I did see of Furiosa is we don't really need to see her origin story. You know, like we don't really need to see Furiosa being sexually assaulted, which is almost certainly something that will be in that movie. Since it is like her origin story, you know, it means there's going to be implied sexual assault going on. How cheap are tickets from Canada to Iceland? I have no idea. I don't think I've ever actually looked up the price of plane tickets myself. I don't know what the cost of a flight from anywhere to anywhere is. Is Pluto a planet again? It's a dwarf planet. Doesn't that look like a 90s Bjork? Yeah, maybe a little bit. Bjork is one of those artists that I don't mind. She's not someone that I like actively look for. You know, not someone that I've ever, sought out to listen to. But if she came on the radio or something, I probably wouldn't particularly object. And when I was younger, I did enjoy that one music video. With the robo lesbians. I do recall enjoying the robo lesbian music video. Now, will start striking you. Oh, it's full of love, yep. Robo-lesbians. Bjork did have a really serious stalker situation, didn't she? They had a guy from Iceland. He was gorgeous. She was with a black dude. Right. She is the serious stalker situation. Yeah. Yeah, I did remember that, it was particularly bad. Guy tried to send her a bomb and filmed his suicide. Yeah, a lot of celebrities get stalkers, but I did remember hers being. I've not seen the clip now. Being especially prominent. Your phone is off the hook and your doors are all shut. Yeah. So that's not something that I need to see. All Mine by Portishead is a song with really good stalker vibes. And Portishead was so good back in the 90s. Their album Third was such a massive disappointment to me. Yeah, well. Anything on Twitter, trending on Twitter that's worth talking about? Nothing in the trending. Except for Star Trek Voyager. Star Trek Voyager is trending. appropriate since I'm about to start rewatching it. And yeah, nothing seems to be going on Twitter right now. Apparently, Donald Trump is pretty miserable in court, which is great. Never heard of him. Yeah. He's no one important. He is not important in the slightest. And he never was. He never has been. He's falling asleep and farting. Yep. Apparently, some guy on Fox News was like, oh, Trump's 80 years old, keeping him in court all day, that's not right to do, to keep him in court all day at his age. Instead, he should be in the White House all day. Do you think society should do away with marriage? No. No, marriage is fine. Yeah, Jesse Waters saying that Donald Trump is too old and unhealthy to be in a courtroom all day. But that he should absolutely be president. Because, being president is definitely not going to be is definitely nowhere near as hard as just sitting in a courtroom. Origins of marriage is pretty effed up. Yeah. Origins of everything is fucked up. So that the same person who gives me fishing license has to approve me for getting married. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I, I see nothing wrong with marriage as an institution. But I mean, as far as like got married in a courthouse and got my fishing license at a bait and tackle shop, but I would have done the opposite. Would have done the opposite, I guess. Fair enough. As far as like the same person giving you a fishing license and a marriage license, I mean, when you find somebody, they do call it a catch, right? Yeah. Oh, that wifey, or that wifey, or she's a real catch. Still about only women. Well, I mean, it goes the other way as well. Yeah, that husband of yours, he's a real catch. Yeah, it goes the other way as well. Less often because people are a lot more disdainful towards men. No one says that. I mean, people say it every once in a while. Not as often as saying a woman is a good catch because people tend to, there's the whole men are trash attitude is very, very common. My husband loved to fish and he loved me. Good enough for me. What's that hat? Women love me, fish fear me. Thoughts on Japan banning Dead Space but passing Stellar Blade? They banned Dead Space. Why did they ban Dead Space? Just like the horror stuff, the gore. What is Dead Space? It's a sci-fi horror game. Basically, alien zombies. What are either of those things even mean? What's Stellar Blade? The only thing I know about Stellar Blade is that apparently one of the characters has a really sexy design. Like, what I should say is like one of the female characters has a design that is generically sexy. If you know what I mean. So it's just like I did see like because the thing I saw was somebody comparing character from that with female character from some other game. I don't even remember what it was. Oh, Aphrodite, I think. From yeah, somebody like somebody was like comparing the design of Aphrodite from the upcoming Hades 2, comparing her design with that of Lady from Stellar Blade, and complaining about the fact that people loved the Aphrodite design and criticized the Stellar Blade design, and trying to like, oh, why is the same people who love this design hate that one? Trying to paint them as hypocrites, like trying to paint people as hypocrites for liking one sexy lady design but not another. And yeah, people are just pointing out, well, one of them is one of the designs is interesting and reflects on the character, and the other is just really fucking generic and boring. Which, yeah, because like when people complain, like when people are like, "Oh, you can't make sexy characters anymore. Oh, you're not allowed to have sexy women anymore." It's like, no, you are, but like at least put in some effort to make them interesting. Not the just the most overdone. This is a sexy woman design ever. Hey, Layla. Because I mean, there are some that are like there are. It is sometimes it is just it gets genuinely boring seeing basically the exact same sexy lady that you've seen a million times in other things. Like, so why should I care? Why should I care about this character? Like, what is there? Like, what reason do I have to be invested in this character besides, ooh, she's got boobs and like wears a skin tight outfit? She wears body paint. Ooh, great design. This is definitely going to be my new favorite character. Sexy characters. Yep. Because, yeah, like when you see a female character with an interesting design, people fucking love them. Love them. Do you prefer a woman or a male character to play? I, given the choice, I do usually play as a woman. I do usually prefer to play as a woman. In fairness, in a lot of games, like if there's voice acting, for example, in a lot of games, the female voice actor just ends up doing a better job than the male voice actor. You know, like I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077. Like it's just the female V is just way more interesting to listen to than the male V. Yeah, like I've heard clips of male V and he just sounds weirdly bored. Whereas the female V, she's got a lot more personality to her. Also, the voice actress also voiced Sailor Venus in North American dub of Sailor Moon. And that's just really amusing to me. But anywho, I'm gonna get going. So I will be back on Wednesday, as usual. I'll try to figure out by then if I want to do anything interesting or not. But for now, thanks for watching, and good night.